have a vision of doing 25,000 units between now and the year 2035.
It's very important for us that everyone feels like, this is value that they're getting.
Long-term vision, of course, is we want to be having an asset base size of 250 billion US dollars.
Developing 21st century state-of-the-art real estate takes deep knowledge about the industry and the specific market you choose to operate in. The team at GTEX Homes believe they have these to develop smart and green homes for the African market. I'm Akin Obakeye, and in the next 30 minutes, we'll put the spotlight on the property development company GTEX Homes and shed light on their journey so far in the real estate market. Nigeria's housing deficit is estimated at 28 million units as of 2023. This, according to the United Nations, would require an estimated 21 trillion naira yearly to provide housing units to bridge this existing deficit. Efforts from both the private and public sectors continue to explore innovative ways to solve the problem for a population of over 200 million people. High materials cost, lack of access to good infrastructure, building collapse, lack of affordable mortgages, deficient housing financing arrangement, high interest loan conditions, delay in processing legal documents, and poor housing policies are among the many challenges facing developers in the industry. For GTEX Homes, every industry has its challenges. Hence, that of the real estate sector is not an hindrance to providing a 25,000 green and smart home unit by the year 2035. We get to find out the company's journey and how it has been able to stand out from the crowd in the development space.
I think when we started, it was still the typical, you want to buy land, you go to native families. So the few companies, because I started as a broker, so the few companies were new, it was just an emerging market. And by the time we then went into development as well, the market was still a bit new. At the moment, we have so much quacks in the business, everybody just feels there's money in the real estate market. And so you're seeing everybody wants to do real estate. Unfortunately, it's created its own problems where even that now, people are going to development, they don't know anything about development, they've not studied the market, they've not worked anywhere, they've not been mentored by anyone, and so that is an issue. But I think overall, the deficit is there, it's still increasing. There's still some figures differ. Some will tell you 16 million, some will tell you 20 million, some will tell you more than 20 million housing units. But even if we meet our target, which is we have a vision of doing 25,000 units between now and the year 2035, even with that, it's just a drop. Hence, when people tell me is the market saturated, I say no, we need more players, but we need quality players. We need people who understand what the business is about, what the risks are, how to price properly so that they don't just take clients' money and they're not able to deliver at the end of the day. When we were to go into development, we didn't want to do what everybody was doing. So first we started with site and service. And even for that, we said, how do we make ourselves different? So we decided to go into more of right locations where right now we have clients who bought land from us, and in 3 years, they're already recording over 500% return because we're targeting places where there's massive industrial expansion. We currently have over 5 estates in just Dangote refinery budget. So you have a huge housing deficit right there, land right there people want. So we're able to make sure our locations are quite unique and the value goes up. But not just that, we then add value to the land. So we fence it, put solar, we're tying the road to where your land is. So that way, it's not just, oh, I bought land and then there's no proper planning, which is part of the problem, really. You see so-called estates and then rain will come and then you see the whole place flooded. What happened to the engineering, the drainage structure that needed to have been, taking place? What happened to all that? And I think that's the market we kind of tend towards, that people want quality, people want something tangible, reliable, not necessarily affordable. And you media people like to affordable. But in reality, there's no such thing as affordable real estate. There's only subsidized real estate. There's only more proper funding institution. In the US, houses are not affordable.
The vision is to develop GTEX Homes as one of the leading company in Africa and build this 25,000 green and smart houses by 2035. For that, my coming in brings in two aspects. I'm here to strengthen the operational side and build up the strategy, how to achieve it fast, because you know construction styles in Africa may not be at that pace we want to achieve in Dubai. You see prefab structures coming in, you will find roads in a month time or a bridge coming up. So we do understand there are limitations in Nigeria. This is one aspect we want to work on. We are trying to hire some experts, construction project managers who should be joining our team fairly soon. And second, most important, you cannot support any growth without funding. In Nigerian, we have never dealt, GTEX group has never dealt with the commercial market. We have zero loans from any commercial banks. And for obvious reasons, you know, the inflation, the pricing, and we are not comfortable to go into that kind of relationship. What we are trying to do, we're trying to explore the capital markets within Nigeria and overseas. And I have seen personally a lot of interest. I have been, last 2 months, I have been in Dubai. I see a lot of investment banks are looking to invest here, provided there is someone who can give them that confidence. Africa is safe. There are rules and regulations for their repatriation of funds, because this is another issue on the government level we have to see, because there have been issues in the past. So, and another part, people need to come into Africa. For example, my coming in itself is a manifest that Africa is safe and there is an opportunity here. It's a huge opportunity, it's a huge land. We are looking to expand outside Nigeria. We're looking at Cameroon. We are already in discussion with one company. In the US, we acquired a big estate in Houston, and we are trying to build greener and smart homes in US as well.
Not everyone has that big money to buy, like you mentioned, like politicians who can buy multiple homes. But for some people, it's just one house. They want to buy their own home. They don't want to keep renting for 25 years before owning a home. So how can we make that possible? We say, okay, if you make a deposit of 10 million, and then we can spread the payments over 36 months. So that way, it's not just 100 million in one go. You know, you're able to pay that amount over 36 months. And even if at the end of 36 months, that there's a situation which comes up, which means, oh, you can't afford the final payment, we're able to connect you with a mortgage company who can then spread out the rest of the payments across 15 years. So instead of you paying 20 years of rent money, which, by the way, is money that you're not going to get back, unlike a home where you're actually buying into that home, the value of that property is actually going up, so it's actual equity for you. So instead of the money which you would have gone toward your rent, you're now able to put that money aside into a home that you own, and not just a home. It's because a home is very personal. You know, you're going to spend money to furnish that home, to make it look as you want. Imagine doing all of that, and then you have to give the keys back to the landlord. But this time around, it's your own property. So it also adds a bit of self-esteem to you as well. You're able to say, yes, I own a home. You know, do you want to come to my house, not my landlord's house? You know, so it's a different game. And I think for us, is making those opportunities available, which is what hasn't been very common within Nigeria. Like typically it's not something that people are willing to offer because, I mean, from a risk perspective, but because for us, the key thing is empowering people. We want to see people progress. We want to see people's lives be better. So because those are our goals, those are our mission, that's our key mission. So for us is how can we make that possible by, you know, giving people as many options available so that they can take advantage of what works for them.
For an investor entering the real estate markets, capital appreciation is key. But the company believes accessibility remains crucial to driving growth in the industry.
What we first of all need to understand about pricing is the fact that what I will use to buy one property in the US, I will use to buy 4 here. And when you also look at capital appreciation, we sometimes you see people say, oh, but the devaluation is eroding the profit margin. But what we fail to realize is that the profit margin is also increasing rapidly because of the huge deficit, right? It's only here in Africa that you can say you bought a land last year for, let's say, 5 million. And then a year later, because Lagos State announced something, it's now 10 million. You won't find that in the US. You won't find that even in Dubai where we operate or in the UK as well. So when you compare apple for apple in terms of capital position, versus how devaluation and as well as inflation, you realize that there is still significant, appreciation and value in the market. As also because of the deficit as well. People just need the house. What I think we should begin to talk about is accessibility, not affordability. How do we make housing more accessible? I still don't understand why people have to do cash buying for real estate in Nigeria, right? And it's not our fault as developers. It's the banking institution. It's their fault. I did a transaction in the US, and because I don't even reside there, so we're always sometimes doing transaction as a foreign company, expanding into the US. And I remember, I don't need the local bank's money. I don't need anything. They just need to give a letter to my lender in the US stating the volume of transaction I do with them. Here in Nigeria, they are saying no. It shock you a bit. But that's the kind of, financial institution you have in Nigeria, right? It's not that robust. And then, of course, they too will blame the CBN for that, that, we're having issues with CBN. We're trying to get to say, okay, let's even start mortgage, because it's difficult. The best way we can help people is we can start a mortgage firm and tell people, hey, give us 20% and we'll give you the house. Thank God we even own the house, so your house becomes collateral. You don't pay us, we take back our house, the way it's done in the US and other part. But they are telling me you need to deposit, is it 5 billion in CBN?
We want to grow, but a substantial growth, a sustainable growth. We're targeting these homes which are eco-friendly, smarter and greener. We are unique in the market. But at the same time, we're conscious of the fact, and we are doing all the risk management, even arranging funding, looking at the Nigerian real estate space. There is a competition, but I think we're unique in and we might not be the cheapest in the market. So our target market is little different than maybe our competitors. And there are always, we see a lot of interest from Nigerian diaspora outside. So even we have an investment arm, we call GWest Capital. We do take investments and give them yearly returns. That's also a very secured structure. So we are conscious of the fact there are risks around, but we plan year by year a sustainable growth.
GTEX Holdings says the bulk of their clients are people in the diaspora, and this drives their strong focus on meeting the quality standards of this too peculiar group.
You said land is abundant in Nigeria for one, which is really good. But what we found is a lot of people were only concentrating on the very highly populous areas, but they didn't realize that when there's an area that's coming up, that means there's more opportunity coming. So now, if you imagine that many years ago, Lekki wasn't what Lekki is today. A lot of Lekki was sandfield. So some people saw into the future and they bought into Lekki, and now they're enjoying the rewards, because at the time when they bought compared to now, some people cannot afford the cost of them now. So what we're also doing, one of our properties in Ibeju Lekki, we've discovered that Ibeju Lekki is going to be the next future of Lagos. All of the big refinery, remember we've got Dangote's refinery across there. We're most likely, in the future going to have an international airport there as well. So you want to be where you're able to buy now at a price which by the time that area becomes developed, the value of your property will go up as well, just by nature of the fact that area, at the time when you bought, it wasn't what it was. But now we're in an area where, people can come in if they can afford it now. 10 years down the line, the value of the property has gone up. So in reality, we're not just going after the land that's already been built. We're also looking at the new opportunities, which is the beauty of being futuristic about it. Most of our, because for us, we're focusing on green and smart homes. A lot of companies are not thinking about that. So we're a very futuristic company. For us, we're not just looking at it today, because as we all know in Nigeria, things change very quickly. But one thing that wouldn't ever change is the fact that the value of land will always keep appreciating.
We are trying to build a very secured and collateral package for whoever funding is coming. First of all, there will be land-backed securities. We'll offer a full collateral package plus corporate guarantees. We will incorporate some incentives for these investment banking. Going down the line in 20 years, we might do a valuation of the business. We might take it public on the stock market. We might offer them some equity discounts. Tomorrow they can actually become shareholders in the business. So we have this kind of long-term planning going forward. So yes, there are issues at the stage, but I see a lot of growing interest coming into Africa, because there's a lot of money sitting in Europe. For example, I was in discussion last week with an asset manager company in Zurich. They are paying, there's a negative interest rate on deposits. So they are looking market like Africa, where they can invest in a secured platform. Greener and smart is the future. This is happening globally, and there are no boundaries for that. So Nigeria will not be in a standalone situation where that trend, we are trendsetters in Nigeria, and going forward you will see the competition will follow us. Looking on the investor side, I have seen growing interest of the investment banks in this particular market niche. Yes, they want to be secured, they want to have a collateral package which will satisfy all their requirements, but at the same time, even the shareholders or the hedge funds, they prefer this kind of investments which are socially responsible, and at the end adding back and giving back to society as well.
There's a go on that, because we're talking of green and smart homes there. So a lot of the technologies, have not developed yet. We are, of course, working on starting, I think in Ekpe, we're working on starting a hub, and the goal of the hub is just you can call it Contech, construction technology hub, where, and we'll probably be the first to do that in the whole of Africa. And we're going to be doing a lot of pitching, a lot of competition, a lot of hackathons, and hackathons where young creative guys can come on board, and if we love what they're doing, we can then put our money on it to then scale it up and have enough production so that it helps what we're doing. But what I know we've done heavily is to make sure that at least 99% of our contractors are local. Some of them we're encouraging them to go for trainings. Some of them we're doing everything we can.
What does the future hold for GTEX Homes?
What we are trying to achieve as a company, we want to develop but a sustainable model. We don't want to over expand or overburden our balance sheet. Even the funding which we are trying to aim, it will be project basis, so the cash flows are secured. It goes back from itself during the life cycle of the project. So we don't want to have a typical general lines and overburden ourselves. And what we are thinking, and I'm in discussion with some asset managers and the hedging companies, we're trying to do some hedging arrangement around NERA in particular. It's a tough call. Even yesterday we were in discussion with one of the senior politicians. So he mentioned, he said, all is good if few things are tackled. And I hope we can achieve, and we are very optimistic.
Well, it's to be the largest green and smart home developer in the world, right? And beyond that is also, because what people don't know is that our vision is just, evolving phase by phase. We intend to be, to get into several sectors, because, for example, the house is just the base. So when you build an estate, they need to shop. Right, so we intend to at some point have some of the largest retail, infrastructure in the whole of Africa. They need to go to movies, they need schools. So for us, we must build Africa, and Africans are the only ones that will build Africa. Thinking that foreigners is when they see how much you've put in, that they can say, okay, let's support you. I mean, it was Emiratis themselves who started investing in Dubai, in UAE, that convinced external foreigners to come and start investing. So we have to do it, and we're working on that. So for us is media, entertainment, retail, agriculture. We're already into agriculture because we're a group of company. Tech, we're already into tech, but there'll be heavy expansion in the area of prop tech, fintech, and so on. Some things we don't need to share now, but it's definitely a mega vision. But for us, is the short term is achieve the 25,000. Now you have the foundation to now begin to put all these other things on. Yeah.
So you start with 6-month internship. We have a program scheduled. We onboard you into the system. Then we have you go through the different onboarding stage where we're going to teach you how to market, we teach you how to sell, we teach you how to be bold, we teach you how to understand the product knowledge. So there are a lot of things that you're going to learn within that 6 months. We also give you the power to be free, to be yourself, to, contribute to why you are, even while you are, running through your internship program. You have the right to explore, to bring in your own ideas, provided it matches with the company's culture and all of that. So we put them through that 6-month internship training that would help them to brush up. So your skills doesn't even matter. We have a lot of people who study Yoruba that are with us, and they're great marketers now. We have someone that used to be, she used to be a therapist, and a lot of people, but they come into the company without knowing or having any skill at all. We have a program already. We have an academy called GTEX Academy. So from that academy, when you come in for the 6-month program, we run you through the step-by-step what you need to learn, and you learn that within the space of 6 months. And we have a lot of people selling, within 2 months already, making millions. We just had one that sold 60 million within the space of 3 months of shipping. And she knows nothing about marketing, nothing about real estate. She just came in through the program called internship. Then she goes through the academy, you learn a lot. So your skill doesn't even matter for us. We have what it takes to actually put you through the step-by-step processes to help you, match up with what we want and how to sell better.
Little drops, they say, make an ocean. Stakeholders in the real estate industry have a crucial role to play in addressing Nigeria's housing challenges by coming up with innovative concepts and solutions for the real estate industry. I'm Akin Obakeye, and that's all we can take on this episode of Focus On. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.